The human mind is divided into two main parts: the conscious mind, which we are aware of, and the subconscious mind, which operates silently, continuously, and with immense influence over our lives. Napoleon Hill described the subconscious as the silent partner in every human endeavor. It is the repository of habits, beliefs, and patterns that dictate our actions, whether we realize it or not. While the conscious mind thinks, plans, and decides, the subconscious mind acts. It turns repeated thoughts into automatic behaviors, and habitual actions into reality. Most people underestimate the power of this invisible partner. They focus on external factors, education, opportunity, skill, while leaving the most influential part of their mind uncontrolled. The subconscious is neither logical nor critical. It simply absorbs what is fed to it repeatedly. It cannot distinguish between what is imagined vividly and what is physically experienced. This is why dreams, repeated imaginings, and affirmations have the power to shape life outcomes. Consider the mind as fertile soil. Thoughts are seeds. If negative, limiting, or fearful thoughts are planted and left unattended, they grow into invisible barriers that shape behavior. Conversely, if empowering, confident, and purpose-driven thoughts are deliberately planted, they grow into habits that manifest as tangible results. Faith, belief, and emotional intensity act as sunlight and water, accelerating growth. The subconscious transforms repeated mental patterns into automatic responses that shape success or failure. Napoleon Hill emphasized that understanding the subconscious is not abstract philosophy, it is a practical tool. The subconscious is always listening, always learning, and always acting. When a person intentionally feeds it with constructive thoughts, it becomes an ally, guiding decision-making, building confidence, and attracting opportunities. Ignoring the subconscious, however, allows random fear, doubt, and societal noise to dominate, often without the person even noticing. The power of the subconscious is not limited to behavior. It also influences perception. When belief and thought patterns are aligned, the subconscious begins to detect solutions, notice opportunities, and generate ideas that feel almost inspired. This alignment explains why some people get lucky repeatedly. Is often the subconscious recognizing patterns and creating advantageous outcomes based on consistent mental programming. Every action begins as a thought. Thoughts are more than fleeting ideas. They are the origin of every creation, invention, and achievement. Napoleon Hill described the process as a chain. Thought gives emotion, gives belief, gives action, gives result. Understanding this chain is essential to mastering one's life. Thoughts carry energy. When combined with strong emotion, they penetrate the subconscious and form beliefs. Repetition amplifies this effect. If a person repeatedly imagines success, vividly pictures their desired outcome, and experiences the associated emotions, the subconscious begins to accept it as inevitable. This mental rehearsal alters perception, influences choices, and guides behavior toward the envisioned result. Many successful individuals, from inventors to entrepreneurs, unknowingly mastered this process. They visualized their goals repeatedly, believed in their eventual realization, and aligned their daily actions with that belief. The result was not magic, it was the subconscious mind working in harmony with conscious intent. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and other great thinkers did not rely solely on skill or labor. They first programmed their subconscious with the certainty of success. Conversely, negative thoughts, doubts, and fears also become real when repeated. A person who constantly tells themselves they are not capable will eventually behave as if they are incapable. Limiting beliefs act like invisible chains, restricting creativity, courage, and decision. The subconscious does not judge whether the belief is rational. It simply executes instructions. If the mind is programmed to anticipate failure, the subconscious aligns actions and perceptions to bring about that outcome. To harness the subconscious effectively, one must treat thoughts as instructions. Every repeated mental image, every internal conversation, and every emotionally charged imagination sends signals to the subconscious. Positive and purposeful thoughts generate alignment, while negative and passive thoughts generate chaos. The mind cannot remain neutral. It always acts upon the dominant thought. Understanding this is the key to transforming dreams into reality. The emotional element is critical. A thought without emotion is weak. The subconscious responds to intensity of feeling more than logic. When desire, belief, and emotion converge on a specific goal, the subconscious acts with unstoppable consistency. This principle explains why visualization and autosuggestion are so powerful. They combine thought with emotion to create a tangible mental force that drives action. Autosuggestion is the deliberate technique of feeding the subconscious mind with specific, repeated thoughts and images that align with one's goals. Napoleon Hill taught that the subconscious is like a sponge. It absorbs what is consistently presented. Conscious effort is temporary, but autosuggestion transforms temporary effort into permanent mental patterns. The process of autosuggestion requires three key elements: repetition, emotional involvement, and clarity. The goal or affirmation must be stated clearly, repeated consistently, and imagined vividly with feeling. Simply saying "I will succeed" is not enough. One must visualize success, feel it emotionally, and imagine the details of achievement as if it were real. A practical method involves writing down goals, stating them daily, and meditating upon the desired outcome with full attention. Visualization of success, combined with repeated affirmations, programs the subconscious to align thoughts, decisions, and behaviors with the desired result. This alignment eliminates indecision, strengthens confidence, and fuels persistent effort. Autosuggestion is not about wishful thinking. It is about deliberate mental programming. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined events. It acts upon the instructions received. By consciously directing thoughts, one can overcome fear, reinforce belief, and build habits that naturally produce results. Repetition over time solidifies these mental pathways, transforming the mind into a consistent generator of ideas, courage, and action. The technique also works in correcting negative patterns. Fear, doubt, and limitation can be replaced by constructive thoughts through consistent autosuggestion. Replacing "I cannot" with "I am capable," imagining desired outcomes, and feeling the associated emotions gradually overwrite old mental habits. The subconscious adapts and begins to respond automatically, guiding behavior toward the newly programmed belief. Napoleon Hill emphasized that autosuggestion requires persistence. The mind is influenced by both positive and negative repetition. Temporary effort will not produce permanent change. Daily, disciplined, and emotionally charged repetition is required to transform the subconscious into an ally. Over time, this process allows ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary results, because their inner mind is fully aligned with their outer actions. Even the most disciplined mind can be undermined by fear, doubt, and negative thinking. Napoleon Hill emphasized that fear is the most destructive emotion because it is absorbed directly into the subconscious, often without conscious awareness. Thoughts like "I am not capable," "I will fail," or "it's too late for me" are repeated so often that the subconscious begins to treat them as truth. When this happens, behavior changes automatically, often in ways that reinforce failure. Negative thoughts are contagious. Constant exposure to pessimism, criticism, and social judgment feeds the subconscious with limiting beliefs. The mind responds to repeated messages, both positive and negative. The danger is that people often reinforce these messages unconsciously, replaying doubts and fears in their thoughts daily. This creates invisible mental chains that restrict creativity, courage, and initiative. The solution is deliberate mental programming. Just as fear can dominate the subconscious, faith, confidence, and purpose can replace it. Napoleon Hill taught that repeated, emotionally charged positive thoughts overwrite negative patterns. Visualization, affirmations, and consistent focus on desired outcomes gradually reprogram the mind, turning it into an ally rather than an obstacle. Mastering the subconscious is not instantaneous. It requires daily practice, consistency, and emotional engagement. Autosuggestion is the tool, but repetition is the engine that drives change. Writing down goals, visualizing success vividly, and emotionally connecting with desired outcomes every day ensures that the subconscious is aligned with conscious purpose. Discipline is essential. The mind is continuously exposed to distraction, fear, and doubt. To maintain alignment, one must actively protect focus. This includes controlling the environment, limiting negative influences, and prioritizing mental habits that reinforce growth. The subconscious will act upon whatever dominates thoughts, so consistency is critical. Over time, this practice transforms the individual. Decisions become faster, courage strengthens, and creativity flows naturally. Ordinary actions compound into extraordinary results, because the subconscious operates automatically to achieve the programmed vision. Fear diminishes, confidence grows, and persistence becomes effortless.